What's up guys? I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the products that I didn't get a chance to fully review during the month of September, but these are all things that I have been enjoying so much that I definitely think are worth mentioning. And at the end, I also want to update you on a couple of things that I did review, but I kind of have different feelings about now. So if that sounds good to you, be sure to stick around. Also, if you're new here, hi, my name is Jen. I do a lot of makeup reviews on this channel, mostly focused on drugstore, but I also cover high-end as well, and everything is completely unsponsored. So I hope you'll consider hitting the subscribe button, and let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. First up, I want to talk about a couple of palettes that I've been getting so many questions on. A lot of you are wondering what my thoughts are on them. So the first one is the Nomad Cosmetics Ghost Town USA palette. So I'm actually new to Nomad's formula. I've never tried one of their palettes before, so going into this, I really didn't know what to expect. I just thought this palette looked beautiful. And first off, starting with the packaging, it is so beautiful. If you flip the palette back and forth, on one side you see just like an old west town, and then it flips to this darker, spooky ghost town, and it is just incredible. It's one of the coolest looking palettes I've ever seen. I love it, especially for this time of year. Inside, you have 18 shades, and I just was so drawn to the color story of this one. Usually Nomad has much brighter, bolder palettes. This one does have some color, but it's very neutral. You have your neutral browns, you have some blue, but they're very dusty, muted, almost grayish blues. You do have some greens as well, which if I'm gonna wear color, it's usually a green or a purple, which they also have as well. So if I'm gonna buy a colorful palette, it makes sense to buy colors that I would actually wear. And these are just so stunning. And formula-wise, I felt like the shimmer shades were so creamy, I almost thought that they were cream shadows for a second because they really have that cream sort of feel, but they are pressed powder and they just have this beautiful metallic wet look. They look like liquid metal. They're absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if Nomad's other shadows are like that because I've never tried any of their stuff, but I was very, very impressed with the shimmer shades, and the mattes as well are just ultra soft, very velvety feeling, and very blendable. I am wearing this palette today on my eyes, and I just did mostly green looks. So I started with this gray shade in my crease, and then I used this darker green matte in the outer corner. I also put this green on the lid, and then I put this silver in the inner corner. So my eye look kind of goes from that silver right here, then fades into the green, and then I have the dark green like at the very outer edge. So I think if you like the color scheme of this palette, you're gonna absolutely love the formula. I give it 10 out of 10. I'm so happy with it just from everything, the presentation, the shades that are inside, the formula. It's definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite palette from this year. Another palette I've been getting so many questions on from you guys asking if I'm gonna review it is the Colourpop 1111 palette. So this came out 2 weeks ago. I literally just got it in the mail earlier this week. It got lost and it was bouncing all over the place, and I just was so bummed that I didn't have this for the launch, but I do have it now and it didn't disappoint. I think this color story is so, so pretty. It's just that really warm, neutrally vibe, but it does have a couple of cool tones mixed in too. So I love the different mix that you have in this palette. And formula wise, it feels a lot like Colourpop's other palettes. So there's not really too much to comment on there. The only thing I will say is that 2 of the shimmer shades feel a little bit like toppers. They have kind of a hard pressed feel. So this pink up here and this gold. These two just felt a little bit harder to pick up than the others did, and they give your eyes that really foiled wet look. And of course, a lot of people are saying that this palette reminds them of the new Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. So I wanted to show you this next to that really quick so we can see how they compare. And I mean, I definitely see why people are comparing them. Not only are the colors the same, but I feel like those hard pressed shadows are very similar to that new formula that's in the Natasha Natasha Denona palette where they just are kind of like toppers that have that really glittery wet look on the eyes. And when I swatched these out side by side, there aren't like a ton of exact dupe shades, but the vibe is so similar. And I think if you're attracted to those colors that are in the Natasha Denona palette, I mean, it's $70. So you can get the same kind of looks for so much less. I also do have a coupon code with Colourpop, by the way, that'll save you $5 off a $25 purchase. So yeah, I just feel like if you've had your eye on the Natasha Denona palette, just grab this one. It's so much less money. The formula is really good. It might not be exactly the same as Natasha's, but like I said, I just think your eye looks will be really, really similar. So not only is the palette really nice in that collection, but I also was a huge fan of the blushes as well. They came out with new pressed powder blushes, and honestly, all of these shades go perfectly with the palette. And I love Colourpop's blushes too because they're a little bit more sheer at first. You don't have to worry about going in kind of heavy-handed with them, yet they're so easy to build up on your cheeks. I'm actually wearing the Claim It shade today, which is the middle color. It's like a peachy nude, and it is such a gorgeous fall color. And also in the collection, there were some lipsticks, which for some reason they didn't send to me, but they also sent their new shadow stick colors that also go with this collection. And I think Colourpop's shadow sticks are really, really nice. For me, they rival high-end formulas as far as how creamy they are. They're budge-proof. Once they set down, they don't go anywhere. And also, I just think the colors that they came out with in this collection would pair perfectly with the palette and the blushes. So I just felt like it was a very cohesive collection, really good for somebody who loves neutrals, both warm and cool, because you have a little bit of both in there. So that's definitely one to check out for sure. Also, Colourpop just released this week their Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon collab, and this is part 2. There was an original one that had kind of warmer tones in the palette, and these are still those pastel-y vibes, but it's all cooler tones. So you have these really, really beautiful pinks, purples. There are a couple of duochrome shades in here that are out of this world, like so insanely gorgeous. I am such a huge fan of duochromes on the eyes, and I love that they included a few of them in this palette and not just one. So it really has like those ethereal, almost like space vibes. I love it. And again, the formula is just so good. These colors are right up my alley. I feel like they'll go really well with my skin tone. So even though this is a little bit more colorful and it's not neutrals, again, I feel like these are colors that I could kind of go out of my comfort zone a little bit with and play with. They're just so pretty. And another noteworthy thing from that collection are these 2 highlighters. So these are their pressed powder highlighter formulas. So we have the shade Moonlight, which is this beautiful opal shade. And then we have Moon Kingdom, which is the most gorgeous pinky lavender. It has a shift to it, and both of these do actually. They're both a duochrome, and they are just the most stunning highlighters because they don't have glitter or shimmer in the formula. They have a little hint of a sheen, but it is so subtle. They're almost like satin highlighters. So I would definitely use the Moon Kingdom shade as a blush. I think that would be so gorgeous. It's like a really nice cool tone, and I love just that slight duochrome effect that it has. And I think because these aren't overly glittery or shimmery, they're not going to enhance the texture on your face. So I thought these were really beautiful and definitely worth mentioning as well. So moving on from Colourpop, I have a couple of lip products that I wanted to share. The first one is from Persona. They sent over their new Day Mask Peptide Lip Balm. I love the name because everybody always does the overnight lip mask, and these are their day masks that you can wear during the day. Honestly, you can wear them anytime. There's no rules, obviously, but there is a clear one that I think would be more suitable for nighttime, and then the other 2 have quite a bit of color to them. I'm actually wearing one today. I'm wearing the shade June, and I love the bright yellow tubes that these come in. It's just like a really cheery sort of a product when you look at it. These have peptides in the formula to help smooth out the lip lines in your lips. It's like skincare, basically. They also have squalane and hyaluronic acid, and they have fruit extracts of blueberry, peach, and pomegranate to keep your lips soft and smooth. These are also vegan and cruelty-free. I'm not positive if they're at Ulta just yet. Sometimes Persona's stuff can like take a little while before it hits the Ulta website. I do have a coupon code for 10% off Persona, but I don't know if it works on brand new stuff. stuff. You could always try it and see what happens. But I have been absolutely loving these. The shade June, as you can see, is just like a really beautiful sort of warm terracotta nude shade. And then the pomegranate shade is a little bit more of a berry tone. So this one is like, they're both so pretty just going into the fall time. I'm really hoping that they might expand the range and add some lighter colors in the springtime, because I'm just obsessed with this formula. It is so smooth. It's not even remotely sticky. It's also a thinner formula, so you don't like feel it kind of heavy on your lips all day, but it's not so thin that it just wears away really quickly. I feel the hydration from these all day, like even after they've worn off. So I really love these. I think they are so worth checking out. And another lip product that I wanted to mention too is from Milk Makeup. This is their Odyssey lip gloss. I mean, it's a nice lip gloss, and again, it's very thin, non-sticky, but the reason that I like this is the color. So this color looks almost black in the tube. It's a really, really dark purple. It's the shade Voyage, and one thing that I've learned about lip glosses over the years is that they're always sheer, and if I pick a color based on what it looks like in the tube, I'm always disappointed because some sort of a light nude pink in the tube really looks like nothing once it goes on your lips, because most glosses are just very sheer. So I've actually started buying darker colors of glosses just so that I can get the color to show up a little bit. And this one did not disappoint. It is the most beautiful kind of blackened berry color. But again, it's sheer. It's something that I feel like I can wear even though I'm a little bit of a lip color phobe and I like my lips to be a little bit more neutral. This kind of has Clinique's Black Honey vibes. It's a very similar color to that. And like I mentioned, the formula just feels really smooth. It's not sticky. It kind of feels a little bit lip oil-esque. It doesn't have the thickness that a lot of glosses do. So overall, like I said, it's a nice lip gloss. But what I'm really loving about it is this color. I think it's beautiful. And then a few weeks ago, Lawless sent me this primer in PR. This is their Forget the Filler Skin Plumping Line Smoothing Primer. So if you're familiar, they have a lip line out with balms and glosses and like an overnight mask, and they're all called Forget the Filler. They have peptides in the formula that help to plump up your lips over time. And this is basically supposed to do the same thing with your skin. It has a trademarked ingredient called Maxi Youth that's supposed to improve the appearance of skin's elasticity and reduce the appearance of wrinkles and visibly smooth your skin's texture. It also has a couple of different peptides. It has caffeine, panthenol, and black tea. So when I first tried this, I felt a little bit disappointed because it really just feels like a moisturizer. I mean, it's a nice moisturizer, but I was expecting something that had more of a primer-like feel where it's a little bit more slippery and it just kind of smooths out your pores immediately. But then I noticed that as I went and put my foundation on top, it like went on really nicely. Then throughout the day, I was just noticing that my skin looked so smooth. I noticed that I didn't really see those fine lines on my forehead that I usually see. And my skin just overall like looked a little bit tighter and a little bit firmer. So I've just been using this every day as a makeup primer. And they also say you can use it at night before bed, which I haven't done, but I'm thinking I probably will, because I really love just the smoothing effect that this has on my skin. Like I was saying before, it's not something like a silicone primer where you put it on and like that you just see the pore smoothing effects. It's something that just kind of happens as it kind of sinks in, and then you put your foundation on, and it just has this, I think, very subtle tightening effect. But I really feel like over the past couple of weeks, my skin has just been looking really good. My makeup is just going on really well on top of this. So I do actually agree with the claims, and I don't always. I'm very skeptical when it comes to skincare products, but this one really does the job. So I'm happy with it. Another skincare product, or actually a body care product that I wanted to talk about, is from Copari, and they sent over their Pink Grapefruit Ultra Restore Body Butter. If you've been with me for a while, you know how much I love their original Ultra Restore Body Butter. It just has the most delicious texture. This is actually a new jar that I just got recently. I've already been down to the bottom of the first jar that I had, which I got back, I think it was over the winter or maybe in the springtime. It just has this really light, silky, whipped texture. I love it so much because it's very rich, but at the same time, it's not so greasy that it doesn't sink in. So it's really the best of both worlds. I apply this every night before bed. The only thing is, some of you may not love the coconut scent of the original. So the pink grapefruit one, I wasn't sure that I was gonna love this, but it is so refreshing. It just has this really, really light grapefruit scent. It's not overpowering at all. And I feel like it just kind of wakes you up a little bit. So I've been using this one in the morning when I get out of the shower, and then I use this one at night because it's kind of a sweeter, cozier scent. And if you haven't tried this formula yet, I feel like you're missing out. Definitely check out some reviews like on the Ulta website. It is so good. Everybody loves the Ultra Store body butter. I'm not sure if the grapefruit one is at Ulta. Either way, I'll link wherever I can find it down below. It might just be on the Copari website, but I also do have a coupon code with them as well. It's actually not an affiliate code. It's just a 15% off that they gave me to share with you. So I'll leave that down in the description box. I also wanted to talk about 2 hair products that I've just been really loving. The first one is from Vegamore. I got this at Sephora, and it's their Hydrate Leave-In Conditioner. So I've heard a lot about their growth serum, which I haven't tried, but I did buy it because I have a bald spot on my head now from my skin cancer surgery, and I really want the hair to grow back fast. So I did get their growth serum. I haven't been using it long enough to see a difference yet, but as far as this Hydrate Leave-In Spray goes, I've noticed in the past month or so that I've had this, that my hair is just looking better and better as far as just healthy and shiny. And when I first tried this, first of all, I don't like the smell of it. I'll tell you that right now. It's kind of like a heavy white floral kind of smell. I don't know if it's like tuberose or it's something kind of like tropical, but it's like very sweet and very heavy, florally. Like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, to be honest with you. Thankfully, once you spray it in your hair and your hair is dry, you don't smell it anymore. And also, when I first sprayed this into my hair, I thought it felt a little bit heavy for a leave-in conditioner. I do use shampoo and conditioner in the shower, and then I usually use some sort of leave-in spray because my hair is dry. But I have to be careful not to use something too thick and rich because my hair is fine in texture. But I was blown away. The first time I used this, I thought my hair is gonna look greasy. It feels so heavy, but it actually has like so much bounce and so much shine. And even the next day, having second day hair, it still doesn't get greasy. So I was really pleasantly surprised by this. And it also has their Carmitin ingredient in it as well that's supposed to strengthen your hair and like help repair damage. So I've been loving this on days when I don't blow dry my hair. Like today, I sprayed it in, I let my hair air dry, and then I just curl it with a curling iron just to help the curls to be a little bit more formed, because if I just let it air dry, it's kind of wavy, but it looks a little crazy. So I use this on days when I don't blow dry. And on days when I am blow drying, I've been using this. This is the Moroccan Oil Frizz Shield Spray. So this is supposed to be like activated with the heat of a blow dryer or a flat iron, and this actually has a very water-light texture. So when you spray this on, you don't have to worry about it weighing your hair down, but this is incredible. When you hit this with the blow dryer, it's like it just seals up your hair and it makes it so super smooth. And I have major issues with frizz. I have a lot of those wiry gray hairs coming in that just don't want to smooth down for anything. But with this, I can actually get them to look smooth and lay flat against my head, which is amazing. And it just gives my hair so much shine and makes it feel really, really soft. And we've been having like a ton of rain here the last couple of weeks. In general, it's been like a very rainy summer. And so my hair has been kind of frizzy and out of control. And whenever I use this, it just looks really good. So this is another product I would highly recommend, especially if you have frizzier hair. Now, just a couple of quick updates that I wanted to share with you on products that I did review during the month. The first one is the REM Beauty Sweetener Foundation. So I tried this in like a get ready with me, and that day my skin looked so good. My foundation looked really smooth and even. I was impressed that this had so much coverage, but also left my skin like not looking cakey or heavy. And I still do think that this is an incredibly lightweight foundation for how much coverage it has. It definitely has that going for it. But on the downside, and I feel so bad about this because I was so excited when I saw what this looked like the first time I applied it, and I was thinking, I wonder if any of you went out and actually purchased it. And you know, I think that's part of the reason why I shouldn't do first impressions when it comes to foundation, because the next several times I use this, I don't know if it was just that I was having a really good skin day that day or certain skincare that I might have been using. I don't know. Other times I've used this, I've found that if I try to build it up anywhere, it doesn't stick to the layer that's underneath and it kind of pulls it up and it looks a little bit patchy at times, especially on my nose. I sometimes have like these little streaky areas where it doesn't completely sink in. It kind of almost floats on top. So if you're going to do one layer, it's fine. But if you're going to do multiple layers, or if like some days I had more redness on my cheeks and I wanted to just add a little bit more, and if I tried to do that, it really didn't work. So it's kind of like a finicky formula. And I think like the conditions just have to be just right and just perfect in order for it to look good. So I've had a little bit of struggles with this, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on it. And I'd love to hear if you guys have tried this, what you think of it as well. Also, I wanted to share an update on the Moira Space Chameleon Multi-Chrome Shadows that I talked about recently. I still love these, so no worries there. But I just wanted to mention, when it comes to removal at night, these are so hard to remove. You have to use an oil-based cleanser to break these up. And even then, the night that I took these off, I thought I got everything, but then in the morning, I still had some little glitters on my eyelid and they were on my face. It was a couple of days before I got rid of like every trace of these, because yes, these are long lasting. They don't crease, they don't budge, but they're also just a pain in the neck to remove. So if that's something that you don't think that you're gonna want to deal with, then I would probably skip out on these, even though they're super beautiful. If you're okay with that, then I just wanted to make sure to let you know that you need an oil-based cleanser to remove these, because even soap isn't going to do the trick. So that's something that I should have mentioned in that video, that you really need an oil to break these down. So anyway, guys, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this and found it helpful. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of these products down below. Again, I'll leave everything linked for you guys. And if you have some extra time, I'll just put a playlist right up here in case you want to check out another video. And I want to thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to spend it here with me. I really, truly appreciate it. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in my next video. Take care, guys. Bye.